In this video, I'm gonna show you how to create this portal effect inspired by movie Doctor Strange using Photoshop. So let's get started. Hey, what's up guys, Dhruval here, and as you can see, this is the final output. Now, to create this effect, it's not easy, but it's also not very difficult. You can call it intermediate. Now, to create this, first of all, let's open the background, and for that, I'm gonna go to File, Open, select my background photo, so this one, and open it. Now let's add the model. So for that, go to File, and then you can go to Place Embedded, and this will allow you to place any photo in this document. So now let's select the model and place it, confirm it. Now let's remove the background, and for that, make sure your quick selection tool is active and make selection of the model. And to remove the selection where you don't need it, you can go to -1 and then you can click it like this. Once your selection is ready, you can apply the layer mask. So go and click on this third icon and boom. Now I'm going to make the model a little bit smaller, and for that make sure that you activate this here, not the mask but the image itself. Then press Ctrl T or Command T on Apple and you can make it smaller. Okay, I'm gonna divide this in kind of three parts. First we do the circles, then we adjust the model, and on the final one we add the new image and all the particles. Okay, so let's start with the circles first. To add them, just like the model, you can go to File and Place Embedded. First of all, I'm gonna select, let's say, this circle and place it. By the way, if you want to use any of the images that I use in this video, the download link is in description, so feel free to use it. Now before I modify this image, I'm gonna confirm it and change its blending mode to screen so we can see what's going on. After that, just like the model, press Ctrl T, Command T, and then you can adjust it. Circle is ready, but the thing is I don't want like everything from the photo. I need to remove certain portions, and for that I'm gonna use the layer mask. Now when I use the mask, I'm gonna teach this only once. So focus, because we will be using a lot of layer masks in this video. So concentrate, okay? First of all, I'm gonna apply the layer mask. So my layer is active, one with the circle image. Then click on this third icon, so your layer has layer mask. After that, select your brush tool. Now generally I like to keep my hardness on 0% so it blends in really nice. Now we need to remove portions of the image, right? So for that I'm gonna use my black color, and then I'm gonna erase the portions that I don't need. So like the sparks, I don't need all of them, so I'm gonna remove them. And also I'm gonna remove portions from the bottom here. Okay, so this way you can remove things. Now here's the good part, right? If you make a mistake and you want to bring something back, all you have to do is change the white color and then you can bring it back. So you can always like bring back things and nothing is permanent. Keep this in mind, we will be using this a lot. The circle is ready and we need to put it actually under the model. So here, now it looks much better. And another reminder, whenever you're doing this black and white thing, make sure that your layer mask is active and not the actual image, okay? Then you can bring back things and erase things without any problems. So first circle is ready. Now I'm gonna add the circle number 2 and circle number 3 using the same techniques. So go to File and go to Place Embedded. This time I'm gonna select this one and place it. I think it's photo of an eclipse, but that doesn't matter. It looks good on the photo, I'm gonna use it. So the circles are ready. Now I'm gonna group them together because I need to do some color corrections. So hold your Command key and click on all of the circle layers and then press Command G. So everything's in group, and then you can rename it to portal or circle, whatever. So let's just rename it to portal. Now I'm gonna apply a color correction layer. So go to your adjustments and then go and select levels. In the levels, I'm gonna adjust the midtones. So in the midtones, go and type in 0.65. So everything's a little bit darker, but I want this effect only on this portal group, okay? So click on this clipping mask, and that's the only thing that's affected. Now right now it looks terrible, I know, but once we add in all the color corrections, it will blend in super good. And you can always go back and adjust things as you please. So I'm gonna go and fine tune things a little bit. Now here's one thing you can do. As you can see this dark patches here, I want entire area to be a little bit darker. So for that I'm gonna use my brush tool, but if I bring back this middle circle like this using white color, it's too dark and I don't want that. So what I did, I went to my opacity and then I reduced it to like 50%, and then I painted. So it's not that strong and it also looks really nice. So everything we need to do with the circle is ready and we can move on to the model. So close this portal thing, we don't need it, activate your model. In the model, first thing I'm gonna do is make it darker. So for that, go to your adjustment layers and this time go and select hue saturation. In the hue saturation, turn on your clipping mask so everything stays only on the model, as you can see. So in the lightness, I'm gonna go and make it roughly -50 and see how it looks. We can push it a little bit. Let's try 60 something. Okay, this looks better, and then close it. Now I don't want entire model to be darker, just the bottom portion near the shoes, etc. So as you can see, we have a layer mask. So I'm gonna go and change to black color and erase the portion that I don't want. And also make sure my opacity is 100% so I get the full effect. After that, I'm gonna apply another adjustment layer. So go here, and this time I'm gonna select curves. And in the curves, I'm gonna make a dot here. Then bring up my shadows a little bit and also turn on the clipping mask so only the model is affected. We need to do this so that we can blend model with the background, because background is really hazy and we need to do the same with model. So go and make it somewhere around here. And then after that, go to your blues and also a little bit of blues because okay, this looks really good and we can go and close it. After that, we need to do some brush work on the shoes and a little bit on the pant. So for that, create new adjustment layer. And before you paint anything, right click and select create clipping mask. So whatever you paint on this layer will stay on the model, okay? So now I'm gonna go and reduce the opacity to like 30% or 40%. And then I'm gonna paint here on the model. That looks good. Now I'm going to reduce the opacity of the layer to blend it even more. So I'm going to start from 0 and then start increasing until it looks good to me. So I think 30% looks good. So here's the before and here's the after. Makes a lot of difference. That's done. Now I'm going to add two different types of shadows, contact shadow and cast shadow. So first of all, let's do the contact one. For that, create new adjustment layer and rename it to contact shadow. For this one, you need the opacity like 30-40 looks good. And then zoom in right at the feet of the model near the crown. Now, as you can see, the selection is not very good because we didn't use the pen tool because of time issues. But you can use them if you want. Use the pen tool. So now I'm gonna go and start painting here like this. Right in the space between shoes and the crown. If it looks a little bit tacky, don't worry about it. Like, it will blend in better once we apply the blur and the opacity adjustments. Now I'm gonna zoom out, and as you can see, it already looks better. I mean, it's obvious, but compared to this one looks a lot better and grounded. Now we need to do a couple of things. First of all, I'm gonna go to filter and blur it a little bit. So you can go to blur, and then go to Gaussian blur and apply a little bit of it so it, is not very harsh. And after that, I'm gonna adjust the opacity. So first of all, let's just do something like 20-30%. So I'm gonna go and keep it to 55. Looks good. So this is done. Now finally, cast shadow. This one is also super easy. First of all, you need to create a new blank layer. So create it and rename it to cast shadow. After that, hold your command key or control if you're on Windows, and then click here. You see this is your model layer and this is the layer mask of the model, right? So you hold your command key and you click here. You have the selection. After that, make sure the active layer here is the cast shadow, right? Then you can use your paint bucket tool, right click and paint bucket and fill in the black color. And to remove the selection, you can go to select and deselect. That is done. After that, you press Command T, right click and then flip vertical. So it's upside down and then you put it exactly here like this. Doesn't have to be accurate, we'll fix it later. For now, just focus here. Okay. After that, you right click here and then select perspective. And then you can stretch it out like this, which is extremely important. Do not forget this step. So until you can see this little portion of hand, you can stretch it out. Looking good, then confirm it. Now I'm gonna take this cast shadow and put it under our model right here between levels and the models. So it's under the model. And then I'm gonna go and adjust it a little bit. You can use your arrow keys once you select your move tool here. So put this one here like this. After that, we need to blur it out a little bit, but before you do that, turn it into a smart object. So right click and select convert to smart object. Now we can apply the blur. So for that, you can go to filter, blur, and the classic Gaussian blur. I'm gonna keep it 17 is too much. 8 pixel looks good. Hit OK. And after that, in the opacity, I'm gonna go and make it 50%. For now, it looks good, but we can make it better. And to do that, I'm gonna apply a layer mask. I told you we will use a lot of layer mask. So go and apply the layer mask, then select your brush tool, and we need to fade this shadow a little bit. So opacity 40 is perfect. Then make your brush a little bit bigger. You can use bracket keys for that. And then you can erase a little bit of shadow from here, so it blends in better with the image. So as you can see, now the shadow looks much better with the layer mask. So the circle is done, model is done. Now let's start the color correction process. And to do that, we need to group everything. So click on the contact shadow layer, then hold your shift key and click on the portal layer. And then you can press Ctrl G. And everything is in a single group except the background, which is important because we only need to do color correction on the model and circle, not the background. So for now, if you want to make any changes, you can open up your group. And if you want to make any changes in the portal, you can click here like this. Okay, now let's start the color correction. And for that, I'm going to go to my adjustment layers and go and select selective colors. In the selective colors, make sure that you are on the relative and not the absolute. And first of all, I'm going to go to my reds. In the reds, in the cyan, I'm going to go and make it plus 19. So we're adding a little bit of cyan. And after that, in the magenta, we're going to make it plus 5. In the yellow, we're doing nothing. And in the blacks, I'm going to go and make it 17. Now also make sure that your clipping mask is on. So only the circle and model gets affected, basically whatever is inside this group, and not the background, because we don't want any color correction on the background. So reds are done. Now let's go to yellows. In the yellow, first of all, in the cyan, I'm going to make it minus 55. So adding lots of red. In the magenta, it's nothing. In the yellow, make it all the way to the 100. And in the black, make it near something like 40 to 50%. So I'm going to keep it 44. After that, directly go to your neutrals. In the neutrals, I'm going to cyan minus 34. And in the yellow, make it all the way to the 100 again. In the black, you can make it 2 to 3%. So I'm going to keep it 2. And after that, go to your blacks. And here, make it minus 5. So we are fading out a little bit of lighting. You can push it to like 7 to 8. I'm going to go and try it minus 8. This one looks even better. Then go and close it. So everything related to background, model, and circle is done. And now we can finally add the photo where model is actually looking at. The snow photo. And to do that, just like the last time, you can go to File and then go to Place Embedded. Select this photo and place it. Go and confirm it. Now as you can see, we don't need this photo of this person standing here, so we can remove him. Just right click here and then select rasterize layer. After that, select your lasso tool and make a selection around the model. Like, it doesn't have to be accurate, just make selection something like this. After that, press shift delete. This box will come up. Make sure you select content aware and hit OK. After that, you can go to select and deselect, remove the selection. Now I need to flip the photo, so I'm going to press Ctrl T, right click, and then where is it? Flip horizontal, and put a little bit here, confirm it, reduce the opacity so I can see where I need the photo to be. So put it somewhere around here like this. Again, press Command T and make it smaller a little bit. So this looks good. Now I'm going to show you how to make it look like the image is between circle and the model. To do that, first of all, apply the layer mask. So go and click on the layer mask, and you can make the opacity 100%. That's okay. Now in the layer mask, simply press Command I or Control I, and everything is hidden right now. But because it's a layer mask, we can bring it back. So select your brush tool, opacity 100%, and in the color, make it white. And in the hardness, keep it like 40-50%. Then you can start painting and the image will show up here like this. And for now, just paint on top of the model. It's completely fine. So the image is inside the circle, and now we need to cut out the model. Super easy. Open up your group. As you can see, we already have the model layer here. And we need to make selection of the model. So hold your command key and click on the layer mask here of the model. So we have selection of the cutout. Now go back and activate this layer mask of the snow image. And since we want to remove the photo, the color is black, as you can see. And then you can just erase it out. Super easy. After that, you can remove the selection, select, deselect. Now I'm going to add some blur on this snow photo so it looks a little bit more realistic. And to do that, we need to remove this link here. You remove that link. After that, you click on your, the original photo, not the layer mask, but the photo. Then you go to filter, blur, and then you go to Gaussian blur. And in the Gaussian blur, you can apply like 7 to 8 pixel, whatever looks good to you. So I think right now 5, 4 looks good. Yep, pretty good. Then go and hit OK. And since the image is unlinked now, you can grab your move tool and move around the image wherever you want, and it will look just the same. And I'm gonna do some touch-ups. So the effect is almost done. Now all we have to do is add a little bit of snow particles and we are good to go. So just like the last time, go to File, Place Embedded, and this time go and select the snow texture, this one, and then place it. I'm gonna go and keep it somewhere around here, make it a little bit bigger, and that's good. Confirm it. Now what I'm gonna do is make sure that your snow texture is right on top of your snow image here, right? Then you right click on the texture and then select create clipping mask. Then you go to your blending options and change it to screen. And as you can see, now the background has a little bit of snow. Now this is not enough. I mean, if you are tired, you can leave it here. That's okay. But let's push the limits. Now I'm gonna duplicate the snow texture. So press Command J. Then I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. So Command T, and then I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger like this. Now I'm gonna right click here and go to blending options of this layer. And as you can see, this blend if option. So you hold your option key, Alter if you're on PC. So hold your option key and then you can blend it a little bit more. And the same with the underlying layer. So you go and blend it like this, then hit OK. After that, in the opacity, go and make it 65%. So now it looks like there's also a little bit snow on top of the model, but it's too much. So I'm gonna mask it out. Now I'm gonna make it one more copy. So select this one and then press Command J. Now activate the layer mask. We don't need it right now, so right click and delete the mask. So we have the whole photo. This time I'm gonna rotate it. So Command T and rotate it like this and put it up. Right click, I'm gonna flip it horizontal. This one looks a lot better. Then confirm it. And just like the last time, now I'm gonna apply the layer mask. So now it looks like there is also some snow that's coming out of the portal. I'm gonna reduce the opacity of this one a bit more. So this one looks nice. So that's it, and this is the final output. And as I said, it is not very easy to do, but if you keep trying, I believe you can do it. And if you follow this tutorial and create something, you can tag me on my Instagram to show it to me. And that's pretty much it. So I really hope that you guys learned something from this video, and if you did, hit that like button, and if you have any kind of questions or suggestions, ask me in comment section below. If you want to check out more videos by me, you can click on any of these boxes, and you can also subscribe to my channel. So every time I upload a new video, you will get the updates. So till then, goodbye, take care, and have some fun with Photoshop.